You ever get the feeling that everything in America is completely fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
You know that feeling that the whole country is like 1 inch away from saying, that's it, forget it. Let's see,
Hey,
we're
twist
on,
around. Now look, here's a
92
house full of
FM,
bees.
right? It feels like
You think the
nice
honey
little
badger cares? It
bands
doesn't
so
give a
far.
shit.
Listen, let's get one thing straight.
Price is right.
Guns don't kill people. I do.
All these sleepless nights, all these days and weeks, all this toil and strife, all this love that we see. How does it all end? How does it all fit in to this crazy life? How do I begin to make amends for hearts that got broken, dreams not come true?
Has never had a better friend than President Donald Trump.
Hearts that got broken, my heart is aching for you. What did you
Gold
want
jacket,
to be
green jacket.
when you were just a child? Do you even know?
I think some apologies are in order.
I love that style of country.
Mm-hmm.
Who is that?
Gal Holiday and the Honky Tonk Review.
I was gonna say it's honky tonk style.
Yep,
Honky
exactly.
tonk swing. It's
Yep.
like the slow, mellow honky tonk.
Yep,
That's good.
I love it too.
Makes you just envision like a bar in Texas, bunch of truck drivers hanging around,
Yeah,
no one really talking.
all of their videos are basically that. I saw her and her band in New Orleans, where they're
cool.
from originally, I think. Like 25 years ago, probably 20 years ago. And just instantly it was like, oh yeah, this is instantly became one of my favorite country acts.
Yeah.
But pretty small time, like you'd never
Yeah.
hear their songs on the radio or anything. And I think that's partially because that style, it's kind of like a straight ahead old style. Like they're not changing
Yeah.
anything, not complying with the new demands of music, but they nonetheless, it's just so good. If you
Yeah.
like that style, like hard to do better than that. Also reminds me of remember I played my ex-girlfriend's band,
Yes.
Noelle and the Drifters, what are they called? Shit, I should know, but very similar. Never mind.
Some of
I don't
my
want to say so much about your ex-girlfriend. Without getting in a lot of
Maybe
trouble.
she's your ex because you don't remember the name of her band.
Shit.
fair point. Fair point.
Damn it, Derek. Now I got to look it up.
Some of my favorite bands, still to this day, are bands I found by accident by just wandering into a
Deserters.
the Deserters.
Yes.
Yes. And I remember I must have been 15. We were just skating a curb, like some random town. We heard music. I'm like, you hear music? I think there's like a show going on. We went over there, and we're like, how much did it get in? They're like $6. We're like,
Yeah.
whoa. And what's the band that's playing? They're like Jawbreaker. I was like, never heard of them. And we went in there, and I was just blown away. They became my favorite band.
Nice.
The next day, I called both record stores in Humboldt County trying to find their record or their CD, and I found it, and it was totally changed like how I played music, how I played the bass. They were like my first like actual like inspiration.
Great band.
Yeah.
On the way over here today, I saw something that warmed my heart. You know, on Farmers Lane, there's that orthodontist
Yes.
that has the bricks that are paved in a perfect quarter
skate
pipe.
ramp.
Yes. And it's been there since I was 18, since I first moved to Santa Rosa. And they've always had like this metal bar, like a foot rail around it so that you couldn't skate it.
That's always been hilarious about things that are totally skatable. Like, we don't want you to skate it.
So we're going to ruin it.
So because you're going to ruin it. And so we put like metal spikes along the top.
Right.
You're like, okay.
Yeah, no, we get to ruin it.
You guys just don't like fun.
That's exactly what it says, right? You can't help but drive past that orthodontist and be like,
It's such a perfect little
God, that'd be fun to skate. Even it's like the way the corners come together and everything.
Got brick coping along the top.
Well, someone removed the rail, and as I was coming over here today, a ton of kids skating it.
No way,
and
really?
Filming. Yeah.
Awesome.
I just kind of sat there at the red light just enjoying it so much.
Kids are all right.
I know. I had hope. I was like, the kids are going to be okay. Here's kids outside taking risks,
Vandalizing shit.
and filming it and putting it on the internet. Like, this is finally the youth are doing something productive.
There's that. This guy posted a meme, it's just a picture in his truck. He's got the smile, and he was this guy's older dude. He goes, these kids tapped me at the liquor store to get him to buy him beer. And I said no. And they called me gay. He goes, America's healing.
Yes, I saw that.
Yes.
If you get any video of any kids skating that spot right there, Kelly, send it to me because my kid's been wanting to skate that since he was probably.
I've been wanting to skate it since I moved to Sonoma County.
You should look on Instagram this evening because there was a bunch of cameras there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That
Bernstein Orthodontist.
Yeah.
The building.
Yeah. Speaking of kids, we took out our front fence and I had it in a giant pile. And I got up in the morning. I'm like, oh, dude, I have to take this to the dump today. And it's just like, one of those days you're just not feeling it. I was like, I do not want to do this, but I have to. Dawns on me.
I have a 13-year-old.
I have a 13-year-old. And so I brought him out there and I've been trying to hammer him a little bit, like teach him how to work,
Yeah.
And actually, my in-laws are staying with us, and I was talking to my mother-in-law about it, about the importance of work, and you know what I mean? Like, you have to learn it. Like, you have these windows when you're a kid, and if you don't learn it, like, you know what I mean? It's like, learning how to use your body, learning math, learning how to work.
Spanish.
Like,
yes. Learn that as an adult.
Yeah, I've tried.
Yeah.
Yes. And so I took him out there. I was like, all right, this whole pile in here needs to go in my truck, and it all needs to fit. So there's a specific way that you need to do it. You can't just toss it in there. Number one, because you're going to scratch my truck, and then I'm going to make you pay for that. Not that I care. And I was like, but there's a way to do this. And I explained to him, here's exactly what I want you to do. And I was like, so what do you think all this is worth if I pay you to do this? Because I want him to learn like what money is actually worth, what labor is actually worth.
How to get a job.
How to get a job.
How to lose money on work. Yes.
Yeah, because we're going to get him a debit card soon so he can save money and stuff.
Get him a credit card.
Yes. And he goes, I don't know, $10. I'm like, okay, let's make it 20.
You gave him $20?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
Dude, I was like, I'll give you 20, but it has to be done by this time. And it has to be done exactly the way I'm telling you to do it. Otherwise, it won't work. It's not going to all fit in there. And I'm only making one dump run.
Yeah.
Kid knocked it out of the park.
Hell yeah.
Did it perfect. He did it exactly. I'm like, stage everything here, put it in the tailgate. Just teach him to be efficient. Then jump in the truck, stack everything like in the back, and then do another load, put it on the tailgate, and then come around. I was like, all this stuff needs to be totally done.
Yeah.
And fucking nailed it.
We have a rule. I don't pay my kid to do any work around the house. He just has to do it. Mm-hmm. But if he comes,
there's that too.
If he comes to a job site and he does work for me, then I give him $5 a day. Mm-hmm. But the work around the house, you just have to do. I have to do it. No one pays me. So
yeah,
sure.
Yes. In order for me to pay you, I have to get money from someone else to do that.
Yeah.
So no one's paying me to clean up the house.
Right. Yeah. I ran into a guy I used to play music with. He goes, "You play music?" I was like, "I just don't have time. Like, I'm always at work or I'm working on my house every night, every week, all weekend, all this weekend, just worked." It's just like, I always tell people, like, if you want, life is way easier. You could just live in an apartment and which is fine. Like, don't do anything. I was like, but if you want like a nice yard and stuff like that, like you have to be a Polaris, that pool cleaner, where you're just always in work mode. You're walking through the house, you're just picking up laundry, putting it where it's supposed to go, going in the garage, tidy up, grab some tools, get out the weed eater, just keep working. That's what I was talking to my mother-in-law about. You have to create that gear where it's not work anymore. It's just like, that's just what you do.
It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
We are in full-on political ad territory.
Oh, God, dude, it's brutal
right now. And I've complained about it before. I won't bore you with more complaints.
We were at family dinner. A certain family member said they're voting for Tom Steyer. Mm-hmm. I was like, really? He goes, "Who are you voting for?" I was like, I don't know yet, but either Chad Bianco or Steve Hilton. I was like, just fully, I'm kind of a one-issue voter. Like, anyone that wants to stop this bullet train. They went, "What's a bullet train?" I was like, Never mind.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Well, that's a relevant answer, honestly. Like, what is the bullshit?
That's actually a fair point.
What?
It's an idea.
That costs
It's a
$135
grift.
billion.
It's a grift.
So I'm about to talk about, if you have kids in the car and you're listening to this, maybe reconsider some of your life choices, but turn it off or fast forward, because what I'm about to complain about is we're watching YouTube the other day, and we watch some pretty interesting shows on YouTube. One of our favorites is Kentucky Ballistics. It's this guy named Scott. Have you guys ever seen it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see the one where his 50 cal exploded into his neck?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's a whole series, the
Made a
50
t-shirt-
cal
Made a
accident.
t-shirt off of it.
The guy, I think he made his channel off of it, really. It's huge. Well,
That's all you got to do. That's all we got to do.
Well, it was like when I got blown up in that propane explosion. Of course he did. I thought about it afterwards.
Do you know I got to give the background on that. My wife knows somebody who's not fond probably of me or Kelly. And
He's made that clear. He's not a fan of me.
yes. And he's all I said something like, "Yeah, I'm working with Kelly." He's like, "How's he doing?" He's pretty good. He fucking blew himself up in a propane explosion. He went like, "Of course he did." I went like, "What's this?"
What does that mean?
What?
Like
I
he's
was so confused. I asked my wife, I'm like, "How was I supposed to take that?" She goes,
like he's not good at plumbing, or is accident prone,
Yeah.
or a masochist.
Yes.
Of course.
Got me.
So the masochism part got me thinking, like, the reason that I got blown up was because the propane was not odorized. For those who don't know, they add the bad odor to propane so that you can smell whether it's present or not. And I was in a room that was full of propane, and I didn't know it because I couldn't smell it. When I plugged in an appliance, it arced, and the whole room just blew up.
Jeez.
So I ended up suing the propane company.
I was going to say, that sounds like a loss.
Very dangerous situation, right? I made some money, and I was thinking about the other day, like, if someone offered me like that experience of getting blown up, burning the skin off of large portions of my body,
Yeah.
but I knew that I was going to survive. I just had to go through the pain of scrubbing open wounds in the shower every day for, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Like, but you get this amount of money, like, would you take it? And it's kind of like,
How much money are we
I might.
I
How
think
much money
that
are we talking?
I don't want to say.
okay.
I'll tell you afterwards.
We have there are externalities that you need to consider. Is that I have secondary PTSD because I used to never think about that. I'm like, just fucking plug in the stove. Like, what's the big deal? Like, ever since that happened to you, now I'm like,
I know, right? Is there gas in this room that I can't smell?
yeah.
Well, let me ask you this, Derek. How much would it take for you to go through? Okay, and I'll describe the wounds. Like, both arms burned up to the sleeve, because anything that was covered by clothing didn't burn. Slight burns on the face and slight burns a couple other places, but both arms, like, skin hanging off. Oof. Scrubbing it in the shower every day to keep it from getting infected for about 2 weeks. Yeah. How much money would it take?
On the low end, like $500K.
I didn't get 500K.
Ooh, that was anticlimactic.
That was your consolation prize. You didn't have a heads up, so it's like
I could have died, so that part there's no real like amount of money. Like for the fear that I experienced was way worse. Than
Well, I think there's something to be said though of that. Like, you're going to go through this. You're not going to die. It's just going to be misery for a couple weeks. That's a lot different.
I think I would do it for, let's just say, 30 grand.
30 grand. Oh shit. We have
Just to pull something out of the hat.
Yeah, just a random number.
we have way different tastes for what we want
Okay,
to do.
so anyways, back to Kentucky Ballistics. This guy Scott, his channel is just really good. It's ridiculous, and it's kind of I don't know if it's geared towards children, but it's geared towards a childlike enthusiasm for guns. And it is
new Trans Am.
It is great. Oh yeah, dude, we entered to win the Trans Am. It is great for children to watch.
Are those your pronouns?
Trans Am. I would say if you have a kid that likes guns, watch Kentucky Ballistics. It's awesome for kids. And it's great for adults. I like what he does too. So we turn on YouTube and we're sitting through a fucking political commercial before we get to watch Kentucky Ballistics. And this fucking Tom Steyer ad comes on, and the first thing it says is this guy going, "I stopped believing in Santa Claus around the same time that I started believing in."
You can't buy a house in California. Yes.
I was like, "You motherfucker!" Like, I'm watching with my kid. I'm watching a kid's show basically on YouTube, and you're playing this ad, like telling him there's no Santa Claus. Thank you.
Yeah.
Like, if you need any other reason to hate Tom Steyer than that, then I can't help you. Fuck that guy.
I know. I'm about to pony up the $25 to go ad free. I mean,
Is that how much it costs?
I think so.
It's fucking worth it, I think.
Yeah.
Per year?
No, per month.
Yeah, that's a little steep.
Yeah.
If it was, yeah.
Just for election season, maybe.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Then you'll remember to cancel.
Yeah, of course we will.
Did you hear about speaking of scum-sucking politicians, you heard about SB 948? That is...
Which one is that?
That is the new law that says in California, and it's passed the Senate. It hasn't gone to the House yet, but it's the new law that says that you have to get training. Like a lot of... Here, I'll just pull it up for you so you guys can see.
For buying a firearm?
Yeah. So
Yes, I heard about this.
It starts July 1st, 2028. And basically right now in California, you already have to take a test in order to exercise your constitutional rights. You're not just allowed to have them. You have to prove that you were deserving of your constitutional rights to own a firearm. But now they're upping the ante on that, and starting in July of 2028, you have to do 4 hours of training, at least 1 hour of live shooting, and take your test. And it says applicant must demonstrate safe handling and basic shooting proficiency. And this is for anyone that wants to purchase any firearm at all. It's a fucking travesty. It's like, imagine if they had a law that said, yes, we do have free speech in California, but in order to exercise your right to free speech,
take a test.
Yes, and do some training,
4 hours of training.
This would be like making you go take defensive driving courses just to get a driver's license. They don't do that.
No.
Like,
and you could make a strong argument that it's much more dangerous to drive a car than to own a gun.
especially in California when it rains.
Or it's windy.
I wish I had a mic inside my truck when it starts raining when I'm on the road in California. I'm like, just the things I mutter. Oh, there we go. Yeah, everyone just slam on your brakes. Yep, that's the safest thing. Yeah.
But this is just a way to get people to not go through the effort of buying a gun because it's such a pain in the ass.
Or they're just trying
or
to...
they fail the course.
And you have to pay a lot of money. You have to actually pay to have this course.
A lot of people will now be...
Yeah, it's just they're manufactured deterrents to get people to just not have firearms.
Exactly.
Afford a gun, but I can't afford all the, the $500 worth of courses and training I have to do now.
And I'm actually an advocate for training. I think that if you own a gun, it is your duty to go train with it.
This drives me nuts because I've had so many, after 2020, had so many anti-gun, like lefty friends, all of a sudden like, hey, I'm thinking about buying a gun. Can you help me out? I was like, well, I can suggest what gun you should get and ask why you want it. But I was like, I told every single one of them, I was like, if you get a gun, you have to practice. Like, don't just get a gun and have it laying around your house. Because if you're ever going to need it, you're not going to know the first thing. I'm like, it's like anything else. It's like learning a new skill. Like you have to do, there's very basic stuff you can do. It takes 30 minutes a week. and you could become like fairly proficient at just like basic gun stuff. Plus, it makes you more safe.
Agreed.
Not a single one of them. They all bought guns. Not a single one does any kind of training. It just it's still, here we are 6 years later. I'm like, you ever fire that thing yet? He's like, no.
I judge people for treating guns that way.
Yeah,
But I don't think it should be mandatory
No.
that you do that. You still have the right to own that gun. You still have the right to run your mouth and say whatever dumb shit you want on the internet.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's good necessarily, but I don't think there should be a law
Yeah.
prohibiting it. It's ridiculous.
You prompted a conversation in my house today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that got my wheels spinning.
Really?
While I was out mowing the lawn this morning. So you called me this morning and you said, hey, my boy's got a slight fever. Our boys play together usually while we do the podcast.
Right.
I'm going to bring him over. He goes, I know you don't really care, but maybe run it by your wife, just in case we want to keep them separated or whatever. And at which point I immediately got off the phone and went and had a long conversation with my wife about whether your boy should come over or not. No. I got off the phone and went like, what was I doing? I was reading that ideological subversion article, right? Just went right back to it. Totally forgot. Didn't think of it. And then a couple hours later, we're having breakfast. And I was looking at my wife. We're just like chatting. And I'm like, I was supposed to tell her. I was
supposed to tell you.
something. And she made a quiche, which, by the way, pro tip, spend a couple extra dollars for some nice gourmet mushrooms. Quiche game next level. It was amazing.
Is that what the 1,000 pounds of mushrooms on your counter are?
Yes. And so then it hit me. I'm like, oh, hey, Kelly called. Kelly just called. And his boy's got like a slight fever. And then she goes like, a fever? Like, what kind of a fever? And I'm like, I don't know. Probably his head felt warm. She goes, well, is it like a bad fever? I'm like, I don't know. Probably not. She goes, well, is he sick? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't really ask. It was all along the same lines when you came in here a couple of years ago. We were sitting, like, chatting, having a good time. And then, like, 10 minutes in, you're like, oh, I have COVID. And I went like, oh, well, sorry. That sucks.
He was wearing a mask, though, I'm sure.
Of course. Fucking Ukrainian-made gas mask.
That was the dead giveaway. You get the-
And so my wife is giving me all these questions. I have no information. I'm like, I have no idea. And then so she gets like frustrated with me because I'm like, I've told you everything I know, which is next to nothing. And so, then the dude brain kicks in. I go like, I'm going to go mow the lawn. Just go outside like, I can see where this is going and, going to exit stage left. And I get done mowing the lawn, I come back, and like I said, my mother-in-law is here, and they're having a discussion, and they're asking the same questions. My mother-in-law is asking my wife the same questions that she was asking me, like, how sick is he? How high is the fever? Like, is he like sick? Like, did he throw up? How long is the fever? And my wife is paraphrasing what I said, which is nothing. I don't know. And at one point, my wife goes, she goes, all I have are man details. And I went like, what's that? Man details. I'm like, is that a thing? And my wife goes, yeah, you don't know what man details are? And what man details are, now we've been doing some work here, like we did the mental illness segment on white women.
Right.
And
broad perspective.
Right. A broad perspective. So this is kind of a continuation of that because people thought we were doing it to ridicule middle-aged white women. We weren't. What we're trying to do is bridge the gap and create a little
Bringing
unity.
people together.
Yes. Thus making this whole thing, the world, work a little better.
Yes.
So I made some progress because I pressed on like man details. Like, what do you mean by that? She goes, well, it's just like you don't take in details and you never give details. So I'm mowing the lawn and I'm thinking
not exactly
about that.
right.
Right. And I nailed down, I kind of was able to kind of compartmentalize this issue, thus bridging the gap a little more.
This is related to mansplaining at all?
It's all related. Okay. Right. Because women are always trying to figure out men and vice versa. And I've always thought that we're here to kind of bridge that gap.
That's our duty.
Yeah, to the best of our ability. And so I was thinking about like man details. I'm like, okay, so what you are insinuating is that men can't retain and articulate details. And I did a fact check in my own mind
Okay.
on this. Partially false.
Ah.
Men have an uncanny ability to retain facts and details,
Yes.
dates, statistics, given that they're interested in what you're talking about.
Right.
That's the qualifier.
Yes. I think that what men are really good at is gathering essential information.
Yes.
And communicating that.
Yes.
But as it pertains to the conversation about my son, you got all the essential information.
He had a fever.
Obviously, he's not running 106 temperature.
Yes.
Or I wouldn't be bringing him over.
Right.
So it's obviously not a bad fever. You know that.
This is what I thought. I was like, if he was vomiting blood and his head was spinning around, he's floating on the ceiling, I'm like, I'm probably not going to bring him over today. I was like, I trust your judgment, like, of whether or not it's a good idea to bring him over.
Correct.
And so the phone call was, what, 20 seconds long?
Yes.
And I just immediately went out of my head. I'm like, there's nothing I got to worry about.
Right.
And
our plan was to have him outside resting on your outdoor bed.
Socially distancing.
Yes. And not, in the house infecting your son with whatever he has.
Yeah. I trust your judgment. I'm like, it's either a good idea or a bad idea. And
trust. See, that's what it comes down to.
Yes.
Is trust.
And I thought this is how, and one's not better than the other, but you have the man brain and you have the woman brain. Because this has happened before where, you come home from work and you come to the kitchen. Your wife goes, hey, how's your day? I was like, good. I saw Steve. How's he doing? Not good. Like, I think him and Marissa are getting divorced. And they're like, what? Why? I don't know. Probably not getting along or something. Like, you didn't ask? Like, no. Like, why? Either way, whether they just grew tired of each other, or he's currently talking to his doctor for living out the rest of his life as a man. Like, either way, I'm going to work tomorrow. It's like not my business, and they get like frustrated because they want like all these details. And I'm like, I didn't even ask. Like, that thought never even popped into my mind.
If you look at it in terms of our hunter-gatherer ancestors, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
right. Men are out stalking wild beasts and having to be as quiet as possible, only communicating when it's absolutely essential information. Like, there's a deer, right? There's a deer 10 yards away from you. Turn around and shoot it.
You sure it's not a cow? You're sure? You're sure it's not a cow? It's huge. That's because it's a cow.
Did you see the rack on that thing? Women in our ancestor days would usually be gathered in a group doing essential tasks that didn't require them to be quiet, and so left a lot of time for chatter and gossip and information that to them is useful in the social network. Knowing kind of what everyone is doing is essential, right, in order to keep cohesion in the group. So two different approaches, but what the problem is when you get the two together and the men expect the women to just shut the fuck up unless there's a deer walking by, or the women expect the men to just give them all sorts of unnecessary information.
Yes. It does work both ways, though, because, so the insinuation by man details, which is what it's officially called, is that we just are not capable of comprehending minute details. Because if I walk into the kitchen and my wife goes, asks me why Steve and Marissa broke up, I'm like, I don't know. Because the reason why I don't know is I don't care. And it's not my business. Now, if I walk in the kitchen, she goes, how was your day? It's good. Like, what's Jeffrey Epstein's connection to Israel you were talking about last night? I'd be like, oh, wow. Okay, it's like funny you should ask. You got to look back at Robert Maxwell. Now, if Robert Maxwell fell off his yacht in 1991, now he clearly worked for the Mossad. He had all these connections. And then they buried him at the Mount of Olives in Jerusalem, which is only reserved for political elites of the Mossad in Israel. So there's our first connection. Now, the yacht he fell off of was Lady Ghislaine, his daughter, who was Jeffrey Epstein's partner. And he's going like on and on and on. I'm like, you want fucking details? I'll give you details. Why Steve and Marissa broke up? Who gives a shit?
Speaking of marriages and breaking up. Did you see who Donald Trump Jr. is dating now?
No.
Going to marry the daughter of Epstein's attorney.
Really?
Yeah. He silently left.
Donald Trump Jr. was not already married?
He was to former, what's her name, who used to be married to Newsom, Kimberly Guilfoyle Newsom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and that went completely silent through the media. Like, nobody heard that they split.
Huh.
And all of a sudden, he's now engaged to this former attorney's daughter of Epstein.
Interesting.
Dun, dun, dun.
I won't retain that information.
I was having a hard time following
and
it.
also, Man Details sounds like another T-shirt.
The T-shirts don't do any good unless people buy them. I have 100 T-shirts on the website that have never been worn by anybody.
You got to push the website more.
Go to libertytreelifestyle.com. Get yourself a T-shirt. Get one for your dad. It's Father's Day coming up.
There you go.
soon.
It is?
I think so.
Yeah, sometime in June.
June, right?
Man Details.
Yeah.
Your wife would remember. That's what's important.
Yeah, it's like I woke up. Happy birthday. No shit.
I wanted to play this clip for you. Sticking with the misery known as California. So they passed the Stop Nick Shirley Act.
They passed it?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
California is actually crazy. Just yesterday, they voted to pass AB 2624, aka the Stop Nick Shirley Act. Now, this bill was only made after I had exposed widespread fraud in communities like the Somali community in Minnesota and the Armenians in California with the hospice fraud. So this bill will make it criminal and put you at civil risk for wanting to expose fraud inside your communities. This is not just for journalists. This is quite literally for anybody inside the state of California. And what does this bill do? Well, it makes it harder for anyone to look into and expose fraud in immigration support services, including NGOs, nonprofits, healthcare facilities, and all of these things receive hundreds of millions of dollars each year from the state of California, and there's known to be millions of dollars worth of fraud inside of these programs. And this bill gets really crazy when you find out who the author of this bill is and who her husband.
Yes, I saw this.
Authored by attorney, is it Attorney General of California? Bonta, Rob Bonta.
Yeah.
His wife.
His wife.
Yeah. Yep. So the guy who is in charge of enforcing the law, busting people for committing fraud against the American taxpayers, his wife is sponsoring this bill
to stop looking into fraud,
to make it criminal to look into fraud, criminal to video people that work at these immigration service centers and post that, because that will be considered a threat.
Mm-hmm.
And it struck me as extremely ironic.
Also, detail, I think we've covered it before, but the Rob Bonta, if you look at the ridiculous gun laws in California, Rob Bonta's always on it's Bonta versus California. Bonta.
Yeah, just because what happens is they pass these ridiculous gun laws, and then somebody goes to, let's say that this new one that they just passed, someone goes to buy a gun, and the gun store says, "I'm sorry, you can't. You don't have the FSC."
Yeah.
And so that person has now been harmed by the law, and so they get an attorney and they sue Rob Bonta.
Yes.
That's why it's him, because he's the one that's enforcing these laws, or someone goes to jail for, I don't know, God forbid they had a magazine with more than 10 rounds in it.
Yeah.
But I thought it was kind of ironic that this bill is going into place, making it illegal for us to video anyone committing fraud.
Right.
While at the same time, our cities are being blanketed with flock cameras,
mm-hmm.
where we are now under 24-hour surveillance wherever we go. Not only are the flock cameras, like you talked about, the way that they're tying that in with the backdoor Pegasus.
Yeah, Pegasus software.
software.
And also they just added, they're already rolling this out in Oakland. Now the flock cameras are going to integrate with drones.
Dang.
They, we need to, let's see, how do I say this without going to jail? I enjoy watching the Instagram reels of people in England cutting down all the cameras there. It's amazing how brazen they are. They just walk up, no mask on or anything. They just walk up to the camera with a sawzall
with their
cut the pole down.
Yeah, what they're doing a light version of that in California. They're putting trash bags over the.
You know who's doing that? The cities are doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
It's because they have ended their contract with Flock Safety, and they don't know if the cameras are actually off or not.
The
cities are going around bagging up the fucking cameras, which is definitely
they call it
right move.
backdoor retrieval data.
Yes, like your Ring camera.
Yes.
It was off, but we were able to find the video anyways.
Oh yeah, that was all because that newsacre's mom.
Savannah Guthrie's mom went missing.
Never found her. I guess.
We are one step away from this, I think. This is Canada. This is from Sean Strickland's Instagram.
Allegations that you've made some online posts to the Prime Minister of Canada. You have anything to say about that?
Can you be more specific?
Cops showed up to this lady's house and said, "You're under investigation for some online posts that you made." She had posted something being critical of their douchebag president, Mark Carney.
I think Australia was ahead of the curve. For
England's
this.
doing it too. But look, I mean, Canada's like America's.
Well, they're all under the crown.
There's a reason they call it
so close.
Gay North Dakota.
If it's in Australia, you're like, it's it's an island out in the middle of the ocean. Like, but Canada, it's like fucking right there.
What post? What I specifically said? Do you have a screenshot?
Yeah, you specifically said, and you made it online.
Well, because I mean, he's a Zionist scumbag, and he's not my prime minister, so.
Okay.
But really, you're going to come to my door, and you're worried that I'm going to do something? Do I seriously look like a threat to you?
So that's why we came to talk, right? So those threats are made.
You know what? You guys should be busy taking care of actual real crime than standing here harassing me over fucking shit I say online.
I understand, but
okay, don't be wasting tax dollars doing this bullshit.
Oh, she's awesome.
Nicole, if such behavior continues, if there is,
what are you going to do? Put me in jail because I don't like our prime minister?
No, but if you made some threats that are concerning.
What kind of threats did I make? You still haven't shown me what I said.
You're talking over me, man. I'm trying to explain to you what the threats
Show me
are.
what I said.
So if those threats are continuing.
Show me what I said.
Right? You could be arrested and charged. Just want to let you know.
Communist Canada, how do you like working for that? Are you proud of yourself? Do you go back home and look at your family in the mirror and say, this is what you do for a living? You harass people for what they say online because I don't like our stupid prime minister and he's a Zionist scumbag?
You can have your opinion. You cannot.
Whatever.
So
I don't have to discuss anymore with this.
So listen,
excuse me, don't touch my door.
That's what I'm letting you know. So
don't.
She slams the door in their face. Tells them to fuck off. I know. But that's fucking scary, right? The police showing up to your house for.
Yeah, there were parts of Canada that they were arresting people for mispronouncing people.
Mm-hmm.
The pronouns were changing literally every other day.
That's why Jordan Peterson rose to prominence. He was like a trusted like lefty, and when they did with he was against compelled speech, like it's going to be illegal to misgender someone, and he came out and said like, no, you can't do that.
And even the people that thought they were using the correct pronouns of the day were not able to keep up because the pronouns were changing so rapidly.
Your grandpa, and you got all these colored people. Like, Grandpa, Jesus, they're people of color. Well, I don't know what the fuck. It's all everything's changing.
He's a good guy.
So, in California, everything sucks, and it has been for a while. I was just watching a video this morning in between minute-long campaign ads of you know who it was? It was the California Underground guy. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how California used to be very conservative. We had Republican governors most of the time. Mm-hmm. Even back in, I think it was like 93 or 94 that Wilson was last elected. Pete Wilson. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then we had Arnold Schwarzenegger after that. Like it's kind of a new thing that it's become so democratic. Have you been paying attention to the mayor's race in LA?
Yes. Spencer Pratt?
Yes.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. So
dude, they tried to some journalist try to call him out. They had
it was
this
on NBC.
Oh, this gotcha thing. Like, he lives in Santa Barbara. He goes, yeah, because my house burned down. I had to move somewhere
They tried
else.
to get him to be disqualified from being the mayor because he's not living in LA, which was like, you guys are fucking idiots. So does that mean everyone whose house burned down in LA, they can't vote?
They can't
either?
vote anymore?
Yeah. So
Maxine Waters didn't live in her district, you know, that she represented in California.
Oh, I know. I mean, she was a statewide. Well, no, I guess she was a district representative.
She did not live in her district.
Yeah.
But where the coffin she
do that all
sleeps
the
in
time,
is
actually.
somewhere else, though, not in the district she represents.
All right, so here's Karen Bass making a fool of herself.
Again.
Asked her about homelessness in California, which, if you don't know...
Speaking of things that change, I think it's the unhoused.
Forgive me for being such a bigot.
When you talked to Jake Tapper in 2023, you said that your goal was to end street homelessness in LA by 2026. It's now 2026.
And we haven't ended it.
We have not ended it, and we're not close to ending it. How are you so off?
I found something that surprised me. I found a
No,
lot of
just
people who are
off in general.
How are you just this off? How do you function as an adult?
surprised me. I found a lot of people who work internal in this system who were very resistant to ending street homelessness.
Huh. If only you had some position of power where you could tell those people to fuck off and not waste our taxpayer money. She's like, yeah, you know, I got in here and I thought I was going to be able to fix homelessness. And it turns out there's this homelessness industrial complex that doesn't want to fix homelessness. What are you going to do?
I worked for a contractor once and something went horribly south on the job. And he showed up. And it was actually the client's neighbor. It was a fucking hole to do. And he starts like, yeah, and this guy was pissed. He's just like yelling at him. And he's like, your job ever since it started, like this, this, and this, and this. And he goes, this specific thing, he tells the neighbor, he goes, did I personally do that? No, I didn't. It was someone I hired. Like, why are you yelling at me? I was looking at him going like, that's not the right approach we want to take here.
That's on you, bro.
They're not from California. These people have been bussed in by scam rehabs, scam NGOs, scam homeless nonprofits. These people, when I unplug them and say, we're not taking our tax money anymore, they're all going to Seattle where the mayor will welcome them. These are products to a lot of people.
Spencer Pratt continues to shine in the LA mayor's race with his takes on the homeless crisis, but not everybody in Hollywood is on that train. The Price is Right host, Drew Carey, says that anyone in LA who endorses Spencer Pratt, quote, needs to get their head out of their bleep. I understand being angry, unsatisfied, but at least get behind someone competent and not some serial scammer without a soul or moral compass. F this guy already. My goodness.
Drew Carey's from Canada, so I'm not really interested in what he thinks about anything.
Remember when Drew Carey got a lot of shit because he was conservative?
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is, I guess, like a Bush supporter.
Yeah.
Seems like that was the era. Like, I thought he would have been on board with a guy like Spencer Pratt, but nope. Just like everyone that supported every neocon adjacent celebrity, they're just like lockstep. Nope, this guy is representing change. We don't want change. We want just right down the middle, politics as usual.
Everything is going just fine in California with $8 gas and 30% of the nation's homeless.
Well, fortunately, there's another celebrity who I have a clip of who has our back on this. Charles in charge, baby.
Scott Bio?
These people are crazy. Well, you know, Jesse, I live in Florida, right? I left that crazy place. And here's what I think.
Like everybody else
I think
did.
Spencer Pratt, who... Yeah, exactly right. Good to see you, by the way.
You too.
Thank you. I think he has a shot to win this, but I don't think they're going to let him win. I don't know how anybody goes against that California political machine and wins.
When you say they're not going to let him win, you don't think the vote is going to be copacetic?
Whatever they have to do, there is no way and this is my opinion, and call me a conspiracy nut. I don't think anybody can beat Bass or Tom Steyer. And I love Steve Hilton, and I love Spencer Pratt, but they will do whatever to keep these guys out, because I don't think they can't stop the money train. They can't stop it. There's too much money being thrown around in that.
That's such a good point, because they're just paying everybody off with homeless money and fire money. And that gravy train can't stop. And if he goes in there and looks under the hood, people should be behind bars. But listen, Trump won. He came back. He won it. It was too big to rig. Does that right. What Spencer has to do?
I got to tell you, man, I hope so. I hope he wins, because Southern California, Los Angeles, was one of the great cities on the planet, and it's a hellscape, and it's unfortunate. But if he wins it by a lot, then he's got a shot. Other than that, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've got 90%, maybe more, of the politicians in California are liberal Democrats. I don't know how you defeat that, but I pray to God that he wins.
We all do. Those of us who believe in God and believe in California and its great promise.
A couple things so he used as his kind of white pill, like, well, Trump won. It was too big to rig. Right. And what do we get? What the establishment wanted: a war with Iran, proxy war with Russia, money to Israel, increasing the surveillance state, and no-bid contracts to Palantir and Oracle. Mm-hmm. So I think there's an argument to be made what Trump represented.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that one of the worst things about Trump's presidency the second time is just that attitude that you expressed right there. Just total disillusionment with even the chance that someone could come along and be a antidote to the system and make something new happen.
Right.
I feel that way too. But it's that because Trump failed at that is not proof that it can't actually happen. You know, Trump made a choice at one point to abandon his base and do everything that the mainstream wanted.
Or
made that choice.
Or have his family killed.
It's still a choice.
Yes.
And if we're going to get leaders who actually can save America, they are going to have to be willing to make that sacrifice. Yep. You may have to sacrifice your family. Okay, if you don't want to sacrifice your family and your own life to make America great again, then don't fucking run for president, all right? That's what's at stake right here. All of us are having to pay. We're all being sacrificed.
Yeah.
We're sacrificial lambs in this meat grinder that is the America has become, where all of our wealth is taken from us. Our kids are sent off to die in foreign wars for a foreign country. Like, we are all suffering. We need a leader who's willing to also suffer. Put your hat in the ring and fucking go do it. So just because Trump was unwilling to do that doesn't mean that there isn't the possibility that someone could come along and do that.
And I think what Charles in Charge was referring to is that, even if they win, they're not going to win. I think what he was maybe alluding to was, Gavin Newsom has said that out loud. Like, even if there are two Republicans on the ballot, which is how we run our jungle primary in California, which now all of a sudden, just like the Electoral College when Trump won the first time, all my lefty friends like, we got to get rid of the Electoral College. Like, all of a sudden, that was never an issue a month ago.
Yeah.
And next election, crickets. I'm like, you still voting about the election, the Electoral College? Like, no, I don't really. Fucking stupid. And but Gavin Newsom came out and said, like, we have a kind of break glass in case of an emergency, like, if that is the case. Like, they're already working to make sure that won't happen. I think that's what Charles in Charge there was.
What do you think that is?
I have no idea. It's going to be some kind of technical freaking legal loophole or something. I don't know.
There is a point where people won't buy it. You know, it's like
I think people already are not buying it.
Yeah,
I think so too. That's
they don't care anymore.
Well, Spencer Pratt is actually like doing pretty well in the poly market, or I mean in the polls. Go to that screen, Derek.
It's such a. I brought this up before, but it's such a like degeneration of our culture. Like we use poly market and polls kind of interchangeably now. Like what are people betting on that actually buy? Like you think we'll bomb this school next week? Like I don't know. What's the money saying?
Yeah, and it's ironic that it's a better predictor.
Yes, and it's more accurate
polls.
too.
Yeah. Well, it kind of goes to the wisdom of the crowd, right? It's like people generally know how things are going to go.
Yeah.
Everyone's intelligence together is pretty good.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny because we had a friend's brother came into town, Jason. Shout out, Jason. Awesome dude. Got to have a conversation with him, and he had been listening to the podcast. And then we started talking about crowds for some reason. And he goes, someone at some point had said something. We're all sitting in the backyard just like chatting. And he's like, I think some people they see a crowd and they're like, I should go get in that crowd.
Oh, yeah.
I was talking about lines. Like the line for the iPhone or the Pliny, or like we're all taking a shot in the parking lot of a CVS.
We're all
like, I should
jumping
go
down
get in that line.
This open manhole.
Oh, my wife said it because she was at some crazy. We have a local like market on Wednesday nights, and she asked some random person. She goes, "How do you find the good food?" She goes, "Oh, I just find the biggest line and go getting it." There you go.
To that, yeah. So overall, Spencer Pratt is at like 25%. Karen Bass is at 64%. So she's way ahead, but the way that the election works is it goes to the...
What happened to this guy down here? Did he die or something?
Gino Viola. I'm more interested in this chick.
Well, just flatlines.
Nithya Roman. She's on the city council there.
Do you know her?
No.
She is a wingnut. She's the one that came out and said, because I remember stealing catalytic converters was a big thing.
Yeah.
And she's the one that came out and said, like, well, the people we should really be yelling at are the people that manufacture these cars that make it so easy to steal off them. To steal catalytic converter, you gotta crawl into it with a grinder and a sawzall and get under there. And she goes,
so easy.
Yeah, these are the real bad guys. It's not the people stealing catalytic converters, the ones that design the cars that make it so easy to steal.
It's just so easy to dupe people. No one knows shit about anything anymore. No. Everyone goes to college and learns absolutely nothing.
Yes.
But people like us we went to college, but our real education was like just doing
out in the streets.
Yeah. Like Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, we're gonna put the system on trial.
We go like, no, I know how a catalytic converter gets stolen because it's happened. Like, we know, but people that just hear her say that are like, oh, wow, yeah, she's absolutely right. It's like when you hear people arguing against AR-15s, and they're like, the AR-15, it's not a hunting weapon. It's so destructive that if you shot a deer with the AR-15, it would just be obliterated. There'd be no meat left to eat. You're just like, I don't even know how to argue with you because you're so wrong. I don't think I can say anything to convince you.
My favorite one is when they say, like, the AR-15 is a weapon of war. I'm all, which war? Like, well, I mean, it's what they use. Like, no, it's military has never used the AR-15.
Yeah, that's a good one. But this chick, Nithya, whatever, she like dropped off the map. She was at 44%, and now she's, look at right here, this huge drop. I tried to find out what happened. She was at 55%.
She died too.
And now she's like down to 14. So
dang.
She ran out of adrenochrome.
We don't normally do the
that movie Limitless. Yeah, exactly. She's just shaking in her apartment.
So yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter to us really who wins the mayoral race in LA, except that what's going to happen is Bass and Pratt are going to go to the next round.
Yeah.
And at that point, maybe he wins. It doesn't really matter to us who's the mayor of LA. but it says a lot.
It is a bit of a bellwether.
Yeah. If he ends up winning.
Back to you, Clark.
Then it becomes like, oh shit, maybe California is finally like coming to its senses.
Yeah.
Hopefully that does happen. Should we take a little break?
Sure.
Oh, lo, lo, lo. Yo, la, 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 lo. Oh, lo, lo, lo. Yo, la, 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 lo. Mon amour, c'est la Suisse. Meine Leidenschaft, das Jodeln. Und ich sage euch warum, pourquoi, warum, pourquoi cet amour. Yodel makes me happy, and everybody in the world will understand. Yodel macht mich glücklich, und alle wissen, worum es hier geht. Wittes, Highspeed, Schweizer Tempo, den Jodler schicken wir heute um die Welt.
Oh, I seen this been circulating again.
I know.
After all these years.
I know. I guess it's from back in 2016.
Yeah, Sonoma High School.
It is?
Yeah.
No shit.
Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah, this is in Sonoma.
Oh, interesting. Where's the little mute button?
Check this out. Girl versus boy at school. Dads, this is why you want your daughters training some sort of jiu-jitsu, MMA. Her grappling is impeccable, way better than this guy's. And then she just gets him with this knee right. Bam! Right there. And again, boom! And he's out. Yep. If that was my daughter, I'd be super proud. We'd be going.
That video's so great.
So great.
And there's a longer version of it where you see.
Look at that. Just dead set. Got the single leg.
Yeah, and she just keeps after it.
So she is she's a pro fighter.
Oh, really?
Yeah. For whatever reason, it's not letting me go to the comments, but she comments on this. And then she's like, yeah, that was me from 2016. And then I wish I could find her thing, but she, there's some on her Instagram. There's some clips of her fighting.
So she was obviously already training.
Clearly. Yeah, you can tell.
I mean, look, she goes to that single leg right there.
Got her head on the outside. Everything.
Well, yeah, in the longer version of this video, you see this guy clearly provokes and attacks her, and
he throws like a water bottle. On her.
Yeah,
like she like steps into a fight or something, and then he does something, walks away, and he comes back. And then he attacks her.
Yeah.
And that's when she does this to him. But you know what it made me think of was our friends' daughters who train at our gym.
Yeah.
And I was looking at her. This is high school, right? So I was thinking, Dude, those girls would be able to do this.
Yes.
They do boxing, they do jujitsu, and they're pretty good. Like this, normally guy versus girl, like girl doesn't have a chance, but an untrained dude like this clown against her, look at her just manhandle him.
Dude, for that guy, how hard was the rest of his high school?
Rightfully so.
He switched high school.
He had to go to a different school. He's lucky they don't show his face on that.
What would it take for you to fight back against a girl?
Outside of the gym, I'm assuming. Just same thing it would take for me to fight against a guy, I think. Like,
really?
Well, being like in fear of my own bodily harm or someone else's.
Or you find out somebody messed with your kid. I just saw a video of a guy who showed up at the school because his daycare called him and said his 4-year-old daughter was having a discipline problem, and they locked her in a dark closet. And when he found out, he saw the video, he beat the brakes off the woman who worked at the daycare.
Yeah. Yeah, kids make men irrational.
I think
I could see that happening. Yeah.
I mean, that's like punishment more than defense. Like, for sure, self-defense of myself or someone else, I would fight a girl.
Entrust your kids to the people that have to make the unfortunate choice of bringing their child outside a family member to watch them during the times that you're at work or whatever, then you're entrusting a stranger essentially to take care of your kid like you would, and then you find out they locked him in a dark closet.
Yeah, I would be.
Yeah, if I found someone did that to my kid, I'd probably be in prison right now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's.
And you should go to prison. You should be willing to go to prison.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To defend your child, I think.
Well, and then we have the infamous telephone booth in an airport.
Dude, I looked. I looked into that a little bit. Not the event, which we all know well, but the Plauché effect.
Oh, you just posted that, didn't you?
No, Jake did.
Okay, yeah.
Which is the Jake? Are you listening? The tendency for, let's see, what it basically says is that under normal circumstances, a society, a community would would deal with people that abuse children in a very efficient way. But in our society, the government has stepped in to prevent that from actually happening. And it's called the Plauché effect because that's the name of the guy that in the airport shot the dude who.
Oh, is that where that comes from?
Yeah.
That's why you need a training course if you want to own a wood chipper.
Yes, exactly.
Well, they're not as easy to conceal in an airport.
That's true. You just had the payphone.
And that was back in the good
carry
old
on.
days.
Just keep walking. I'm fine.
Before you could, when you could just walk into an airport with a gun, apparently, anyways.
So I looked into it a little bit, and it was. I wish I hadn't. It was a little too disturbing to do any digging into, because apparently his kid, the Plauché guy, was pretty angry at his dad for doing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I think, and I didn't.
Well, he lost his dad.
No.
Well, I think
prison?
the kid had Stockholm
really?
syndrome, essentially, with his karate instructor.
And that was what I kept coming across in all the articles
And
that
that's
I
a
read.
problem. That's a whole nother, part of those type of assaults. I mean, where you...
Yeah. It's another form of abuse.
Yeah, it's a psychosis, essentially.
And it wasn't so much that he missed, he wanted that guy punished, but he didn't want him killed. And any father out there watching that was like, yeah, no, he's dying. I'm sorry, but that's the case. But I don't know. It was just kind of crazy looking into it and realizing all the nuance of that situation. I was like, fuck, I wish I hadn't gone down this rabbit hole. So I didn't bring it up, but you did so.
No, Matt did, actually.
Okay.
what we wouldn't do for our kids is the moral of the story, right?
Yeah, it's funny. We were talking about that yesterday. They're talking about this guy knew someone who had to do with the gender transition stuff, and then he goes, well, he had to go through with it because if he hadn't, he was at risk of his kids being taken away. And I just can't get past that. I was like, I would just be in prison.
Well, I'll just tell you, there would be a whole lot of people who got degrees in college that would be not in this world anymore that participated in the surgery and reassignment.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of where we're at now. Like, kids can go in without their parents' permission and say, hey, this is what I want to do.
In an odd kind of way, I feel like that stuff that's going on of like transitioning kids when they're 13 years old or whatever, you know what I mean? Because we were having this discussion. I was like, you grew up with a kid, like in the 5th grade, you're like, he's gay. Like, you just know he's gay.
Yeah.
And he turns 18, he goes, I'm gay. Like, we know. Like, have fun.
Yeah.
Well, then the moms too would be like, oh yeah, I've known you were gay since you were 5.
But now they're taking some of these kids that just might be gay and going like, well, like maybe you're supposed to be a woman. Right. You know what I mean? And once you're doing irreversible damage to some of these kids, it's like it reminds me of the COVID stuff kind of. It's like I had like a lighter version, a very less darker version. It was like I had so many friends that went so hard in the pain about COVID and masks and the vaccines, and so you were wrong about everything, and they went so far that direction they can't retreat. They can't retreat at that point. There's no off ramp. I'm like, dude, you were so far down the road. You're so vocal. You fucking said so much fucking ridiculous shit to me. I'm like, I got nothing for you, dude.
Yeah, and that's why they're driving around in a car with a mask on. Yes, they have no off ramp.
They have to double down.
Yeah.
You guys want to talk about America's birthday coming up?
Oh, June 14th?
June 14th.
Yeah, let's do it.
Funny enough, that does play into what I want to talk about. So we're going out of state for 4th of July.
Yep.
We're going to Tennessee.
Yep.
Which I'm excited about.
Me too.
And I'm also look forward to this. Like 4th of July has become my favorite holiday over the last few years. It's the funnest holiday. It's just
wait till you experience it in a state where they also feel the same way. Well, where we live, it's just like you're wrong for celebrating.
That's what I was going to bring up. It's like we already have a tradition of going out of state for 4th of July.
Oh, that's true.
It's like just because it's fun to go to new states and check things out, and also like I don't want to end up at a barbecue getting a lecture about gender pronouns when I just want to get a hot dog in the sun and have a good time with my friends.
You'll still be checking the Nextdoor app, right? When you're in Tennessee.
Oh, yes. We were talking about this yesterday. Dude, this is time for Nextdoor to shine 4th of July about dogs with PTSD and people doing fireworks. Like,
veterans with PTSD.
Veterans
yes.
with PTSD.
Thank God they have
white women talking about veterans with PTSD.
Thank God they have these moms to look out for them.
Yes.
These poor grown men.
So this will be our what birthday?
Our sequicentennial.
Yes. Well done.
Yes.
For all of you who don't know what that means, that's our 250th birthday. And so this is like supposed to be a big one, which is lends to the importance of Trump lobbying Congress to get approval for the $250 bill with his face on it.
With his face on it.
Yes.
Sweet.
And then after we tackle that, we'll get to the ballroom, a couple other pressing issues.
Well, then we're going to drain the swamp.
And then we'll drain the swamp. Then the Epstein files. Like this dude is clearly paying
the process
5, 6, 7D chess at this point.
Yes.
Now, as we come up on our 250th episode, and Derek, you and I were just talking about this earlier.
Anniversary.
I was looking at, have you guys looked at the stages of empires that they go through?
No.
I thought, well, I thought would be a good time to talk about it.
All right, let's do it.
Okay.
All ears.
So I round up on a couple papers. The best one I found was the 7 stages of empire collapse. And they go through the collapse of the Assyrian Empire. So this is like 2500 BC to, I don't remember when it ended. had like a slow build. It was really powerful. I think it ended in 609 BC, if I remember correctly. The Spanish actually kind of controlled the world for quite a while. That ended in the 16th century. Soviet Union, most younger people don't remember this. They were a world empire. That 1991, everything like fell apart. It was particularly due to the Cold War and U.S. fighting everything. Britain, which ended in the 1900s, Britain controlled like almost the entire world for centuries, 2 centuries and a half, if you see where I'm going with this. And now we have America, which is the world empire at this point. And now we're coming up on 250 years.
Did you deliberately skip the Roman Empire?
Well, no.
Okay.
But let's talk about the Roman Empire. So Roman Empire, same kind of trajectory. And there's this guy he puts together. He goes, here are the 7 stages of how empires fall. And you go through each one. If you look at historical patterns, all these, the Romans, Spain, Assyria, Soviet Union, and the U.S. currently that we're seeing here, they all follow like almost the exact same model. And so Derek, you and I were talking about earlier, like these stages obviously overlap. Like everything doesn't change like overnight. So I want to go through the 7 stages, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts about what this says about America and like where we are here today. That make sense?
Let's hear it.
All right. It was kind of funny because as one of their examples, they use the fall of the Soviet Union. And as I read through the 7 stages, I immediately thought like, oh, this also kind of dovetails into Yuri Bezmenov's 4 stages of ideological subversion, because every empire, it's mostly done by their own hand of why they fall, but it also has to do with other like burgeoning empires fucking meddling with other, everyone's striving to be like the world empire.
Yeah.
And I've brought this up with someone before, and they said, Yuri Bezmenov, dude, the knee-jerk statist devotee, like, it's so hard to understand their psychology. It's like you bring up anything that like pushes back against any kind of institution, they're immediately like, no, I don't want to hear it. Like what does this guy Yuri Bezmenov know? Like, this is just some random guy. I'm like, no, this was his job. He worked for the KGB to subvert the American empire, and he defected here because he realized what he was doing. Like, I would say he's probably fairly qualified to speak about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Stage 1, military overextension. So what do you guys know about, like, okay, so you brought up the Roman Empire.
Yeah, that checks the box for the Roman Empire.
Right. And Spain and Britain and Soviet Union and Syria, actually, if you want to go like way back. Now, to bring back to current day with the U.S., in 2026, the U.S. recorded over $900 billion in military expenditures, surpassing, we spend more than...
That's what they will tell us, too.
Yes. We also have...
I'm going to guess it's probably more.
Yeah, the 2 sets of books. That's more than the 10 countries underneath us combined. Like, we spend more than that. And all these, like I was saying, they all kind of like overlap in each other. Like, we currently have 750 bases in over 80 countries, and we have troops deployed in over 150 countries all over the globe. So even in places that were, I have no idea. I mean, it's funny how all these wars that we are involved in, the ones that just kind of get pushed into the background. Like, I heard an update on Russia and Ukraine. And like, you have to remind yourself, like, oh yeah,
that's still happening.
That's still going on.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're all talking about Iran now. Yemen, still going. We're still
Africa,
Sudan, Somalia, Iraq, Yemen. Like, it's just everything's still going on. Not to the not at the height that it was or whatever. But we have these like fashionable wars that we just kind of, as goldfish, kind of pay attention to.
Yeah.
And they kind of pivot out. So military overextension gets us into stage 2, which is currency debasement. And every colonial empire must debase its own currency in order to finance itself. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So...
yeah, you have to print money.
Right.
Because you can't actually make money by waging war, despite what the statist devotees will tell you, that World War II got us out of the Great Depression, and that the military industrial complex creates jobs for Americans. It's all nonsense.
Yeah.
The only thing that creates wealth is making things for people that they actually want.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to spend their money on a bomb that's just blowing up.
Well, that makes
in
a
a
certain
foreign country.
segment wealthy, just not us.
Well, yeah, it's
the military industrial complex.
But if we're spending our taxpayer money on an industry, then we're not making money. The only thing that makes us money is private industry actually making things.
Yes.
And if the military industrial complex was not supported by the government and by our taxpayers' money, we wouldn't have one. Nobody needs that.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Yeah.
It's like the analogy that you and I came up with where, like, let's just get a deserted island in the middle of nowhere that nobody lives on. We'll still spend the exact same amount of money that we spend on the military industrial complex, but we'll just blow everything up on that island.
Yeah.
Just shoot all the missiles, drop all the bombs, shoot all the guns, dump all the tanks and everything on that island. We still have the same industry happening.
Yeah.
But it's clear that it's an absolute waste. It doesn't do anything for anybody. And if you say, well, we need that in order to keep the global economy going, like, how's that going right now? What is our military doing to keep the global economy going? It's come to a fucking
that's the part
halt.
of the point, right? Is to eradicate the middle class in every country. We want just the
slaves.
Yeah, we want the wealthy elite and
the plebes,
the serfs, the neo-feudalism.
Mm-hmm. Or we don't have to bomb that island. We could just take that money, print it out of thin air, and just put it into a wood chipper after you've had your training course. Of course. But yeah,
You know
you're
what?
right.
That would actually
it's an
be-
industry. It doesn't. It's fabricated. It's manufactured out of thin air, just like our money is. It's not needed. It's not desired. This is like the most infuriating, neocon fucking bullshit that I hear when they're like, well, you have to remember like how many American jobs are created, by the, when we don't just give money to Ukraine, we make the weapons here at home, and that creates all these jobs. I'm like, and what? So to kill 500,000 people in a year, but we created some American jobs. I'm like, that makes sense to you? That's fucking the most ridiculous explanation I've ever heard.
Even if no one was killed, it would be an absolute waste of our money.
Yes.
You can't just print money and then give it to an industry and say, we're making things.
The way we make money is to create a demand. Like if people want a product, you come up with a
widget.
The money's pet rock. This guy made $1 million.
Already be debased. I think now we have it all going upstream, and the people who know it's worthless are buying things that are real with it, like gold and real estate.
Oh, we're going to get into gold
and when all the wealth that regular people like us think it's worth, when they've decided to pull the plug because they own all the real estate and all the gold, then that's when we're gonna.
Well, they don't even need to pull the plug. The fact is, the money is printed and the banks get it first. When they get it, it's worth the same amount that all the other money is worth. But as soon as they start spending it, then the pool of money grows. Everyone's money becomes less valuable. But by then, they've already used it for their needs, and they have gained those things that you're talking about. There's no plug pulling needed. It happens as soon as they spend this printed fake money.
It's the greatest
That's why the
scheme.
wood chipper would actually be a better plan. You print all the money, throw it in a wood chipper. Now you have
so it's
deflation.
gone. It doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the most ingenious kind of schemes is we print our central banks, the Federal Reserve prints money out of thin air, gives it to the banks for free, and they lend it back to us at somewhere between 6 and sometimes 30% interest. It's like, if you can get on that scam, like almost kind of good enough. After we went off the gold standard and was 71, is the dollar has lost 98% of its value since 1971. That's the currency debasement. So that's the inflation you're talking about. It's like you could be, I don't know how many times we have to go through this.
Where's all that gold, by the way?
But this is also why, since they print money out of, like, it essentially has no value at this point. This is why you see so many like NGOs. You're like, hey, we need $100 million to start a curriculum for LGBTQ rights in Africa. And they're just like, sure. Yeah,
so
who
they
gives
can
a shit?
It's not our
launder
money.
it back
go for
to
it.
themselves. I mean, it's all perceived value to regular people because we can buy shoes and, you know, food with it and gas.
Yeah.
But to the upper class, they're just stacking wealth with real.
Well, they're parasites. They're stealing it from us.
Yes. So after currency debasement, which is stage 2, we get stage 3, which is the debt spiral. How are we doing with that?
Mm-hmm. Let me pull up the debt clock.
We're about to hit $40 trillion in debt. Our debt to GDP ratio is currently 123.6%. Our interest payments alone on our debt are just about to hit $1 trillion, I think, this year, projecting.
Well, and that's how it's designed, right? That you can never pay back the debt.
Yeah.
Yep.
Number 4, loss of productive capacity. So wealth influxes result in deindustrialization. So this is when you hear people say like,
wealth influxes?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
So as they print more money, somehow
the money influx.
So think of the old school guy, like, we just don't make anything in America anymore. I'm like, yeah, that's the design that was done by this. We don't manufacture anything in America anymore.
Right.
So that kind of goes back to what you're saying, Derek. There's like, it comes back to the tangibles, real estate,
right,
gold, actually making something. Now the bulk of our industry is just people
outsourced.
Yeah, every microsecond running around, moving around money on like derivatives markets, and just wealth being created based on things that are being created somewhere else on the other side of the world.
Well, I've had this question, and none of us will be able to answer it, I'm pretty sure. But us being the
answer
most
a ton of questions I don't actually
powerful
know the
military in the world.
That's how this podcast started.
Is that how it started? So we're still the most powerful military in the world, allegedly, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about that.
We're the wealthiest military in the world. I think that we're finding out that maybe we're not the most powerful.
We did lose a 20-year war to a bunch of fucking goat farmers in Afghanistan, and they gave it back to them in the end.
But I don't understand why we are a slave to the central banking system. Like, when do you just go, dude, I got all the weapons and all the muscle. Fuck off. I'm not paying you anything else. I'll crush you. We're out. We're going to start our own currency, and we're done with you. We'll just wipe you off the face of the freaking earth. I'm out of the central banking system. You're done.
I think that that is a possibility, but I think what's more likely, and this would be a good question for Jamie O'Brien, but if I'm channeling what I think he would say, more likely what happens is they know that this point is coming where the system cannot continue to maintain the way that it is. And so instead of just waiting for it to collapse, they have the collapse kind of in mind. Planned out. It collapses. We come off of this terrible system. Either they introduce something like the CBDC, or they just say, fuck off. We have our bunkers. We have our guns and our security and our wealth.
Peter Thiel just moved to Argentina. I mean, so what's he leaving the States for? But to me, it means that there's collusion.
It has to happen eventually.
Like, there's a reason why we don't push back, because it's collusion. We're part of the system. Like, you know. But yeah, there of course is going to be a planned collapse. We're going to blame it on, you know, some world war or Project Bluebeam or something.
I think this is also where we're getting, because they know the collapse is coming, and there's a reason why all these people are building underground bunkers or building estates in other countries. But this whole, I think eventually, if you look at a bigger picture, it's going to be like more of a global thing. And this is why you see people like Elon Musk, Larry Ellison, Larry Fink, or, talking about UBI and UHI. And so what they're trying to do is like, AI is going to replace all these jobs. Like I think it's kind of a manufactured kind of direction that they're trying to push everything in to get everyone like, look, we're just going to print more money. Just give it to you. You can sit on your little government apartment, high on GLP-1s and SSRIs, and
Soma.
It's Soma, yeah,
like Wall-E.
Yeah, and you're gonna probably want to blow your brains out, but you can't because you can't use your CBDC to buy a gun. You know what I mean? You'd be kind of screwed on the whole deal. But then on like a bigger, like you touched on something earlier, Derek, about like how we have this such a powerful military. Is if you get down to the later stages of this, you see that these the house of cards is clearly falling at this point,
showing signs,
and it's only a matter of time. And our us being the bully in the hallway is kind of the last thing that we have left, especially as people leave the petrodollar, which we'll kind of get into in a little bit. It's like, it's only like the threat of force of like, we're just gonna have to continue to like bomb the shit out of more and more countries and finance that by just printing more money, hence making the problem worse. But it's only a matter of time.
Well, I think that's
everything's
when COVID happened and then unemployment doubled unemployment. So when jobs came back, people were like, I'm not going back to work. I'm making way more.
Yes.
That was like a test run for the UBI.
Yeah. When we said that in the beginning, I'm like, dude, what if COVID was a dry run? Because it kind of seems like
Well, and
that kind of makes sense to me.
This is so if that happens, and it probably will, you'll never be able to save money because the digital currency that you'll get as welfare will have an expiration date. So
no, there's no more private wealth.
Yeah.
You don't.
So
you can't save anything
You
because
can't save anything. It's going to expire at
the
the end of the month. Then you'll get your next month's.
I don't think that's going to happen, though. I think the technology involved in making CBDC work is just too extreme. I think they're still kind of trying, but the collapse happens before.
I think they're just blowing smoke. I think that's to give people hope. Like all the people that were willing to accept the double payments of unemployment are like the ones that are cheerleading this whole digital currency UBI. So they're keeping people. They don't want to say we're just going to pull the plug and there's going to be no money. You guys are going to have to figure it out. So I think that's like the thing that they're keeping people hopeful for as they see AI taking over all the jobs. Everybody realizes that most of them will be without jobs at some point in the next 5 years because of AI, apparently. And they're probably all clinging to the universal basic income idea, not the, oh shit, what am I going to do?
I haven't seen any polling on that, but there's some anecdotal evidence that
what's the betting like?
Yeah, what's Polymarket say?
Polymarket says that young people are not excited about that concept, about UBI.
That's good to hear.
And they are very
that's refreshing,
unenthusiastic about AI.
Because I know people my age that are like, that sounds great. I was like, basically putting yourself in prison. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
A lot of people our age have tried really hard to make it. They went to school, they did all the right things, and they have a shitty dead end job, and they're like, yeah, fuck it, just give me. They're out of shape, they have nothing to live for, and they're like, yeah, just give me the basic income.
Just give me the money.
But young people are not wired that way,
which is amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, just by the nature, young people are more like, okay, let's fucking go. I need something to do.
Yeah,
even though they've been kind of screwed in their upbringing. They've had the helicopter moms and the lawnmower moms and whatever, and they've had to.
wait. What's a lawnmower mom? I've never heard this.
It's like the extreme version of the helicopter mom.
Oh, okay.
I guess. I don't know. I've heard it. I don't know. I guess that's what that means.
That's good. I like that.
So they were all.
Is there a Roomba mom?
Let's look it up.
Yeah, we better double check what that means.
But just, I think that
the Roomba mom's a helicopter mom, but she's also taking all of your data while she's watching you.
The lawnmower mom typically refers to lawnmower parenting, a style where mothers and fathers proactively remove every obstacle, challenge, or failure from their child's path to shield them from discomfort.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like the helicopter, but even closer.
Yeah, that's bad.
I've been more proactive with my boy to purposely. I'm not trying to get my kid to go to the ER, but I'm just like getting him to do more dangerous shit. It's like just do it, man. You got it.
We did in the 80s.
Dude, it was like
we have to manufacture it now.
I was raised by my friends in hose water. Basically, like, your parents were like, get the fuck out of here and don't come back till it's dark.
Yep.
What do you want to do? I don't care. Just get out of the house.
Oh, yeah. No, it was be back by the time the streetlights come on.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad's house with the old school dinner triangle. It was like, once you heard that triangle, I'm like, all right, time to go home.
Yeah.
Before that, do whatever you want.
Yeah, it was riding your bike in Golden Gate Park. And
shooting my brother with a BB gun.
Jumping curbs and no helmets. And
But yeah, I think that kids are expecting more, and they realize that they've been screwed over, and they're not just going to sit down in the lazy boy like in Wall-E and just accept the Soma.
I'm oddly optimistic about the young kids.
You should be.
I don't know where it's coming from, but I really am. I just meet some of my son's friends and stuff, and I was like, I think you guys, it just seems like you're going to be all right.
They have something. The youth have something that society needs, and it's that like hunger for exploration and growth and learning. And the
generation above them, I'm like, you guys are fucked.
Right.
I think that's that the car crashing from guardrail to guardrail. Like when I see the young kids, I'm like, it almost feels like, my son came home the other day and goes, I don't remember his friend's name. He goes, so-and-so said that all the birds are government drones. I'm like, really? I'm like, well, there's a lot to unpack there. I'm all, have you ever seen a dead bird? He goes, yeah. I was like, it was just a bird, right? He goes, yeah. I'm all, but at the same time, they do make, drones that are small as like honeybees that they use for surveillance. I'm like, so, you know what I mean? Can't throw either one in or out, you know what I mean? By the way, tell him I'd love to have his parents over for dinner. Totally. Okay, that gets us into stage number 5. And this one I really, I don't know. I think we have a lot to say on the social decay.
Mm-hmm.
And so just a couple stats. Homelessness increased by 18% in 2024 alone. We currently have over 3/4 of the homeless, I believe, are in California. I don't know. I've looked this up. It ranges anywhere from 30 to 70%. So I don't know. Maybe we can land somewhere between 40 and 50, like that. Which Karen Bass
she's
tackling.
Yes,
by 2026.
No, she's going to solve it. Yeah,
by 2026.
So is Gavin Newsom.
Right. He was at 2015, something like that. 2016. We're looking at drug overdose deaths of, I don't know, it spiked in 2020, I think. It was like 100, just under 100,000. Now somewhere like 75. Shout out Narcan.
That was just in California.
Exactly.
No, in the U.S.
I know.
But yeah, it's made me think, because we went through like the rates of like SSRIs being prescribed and anti-anxiety, depression, suicide, and just the amount of people on these drugs. I think for middle-class white women that don't go to church, it was like 30-something%, which is a very large number.
Yeah.
But just overall as a population, I just found another GLP study that 45% of people that start taking GLPs have suicidal ideation. We already talked about the emotional flattening. It's just
how many percent?
45.
Whoa.
Yeah. It's and then also part of the social decay, we have like this distrust of institutions, which happened, really spiked during COVID because people realized and for those of you that came around, welcome to the party. We've been waiting for you.
I was one of them.
Were you?
I mean, yeah, for sure.
You're earlier than most people. The distrust of institutions is something I think there's just so many more people nowadays. It's, when they hear someone say like recent data by the CDC and they're whatever, you know what I mean? Or the WHO recently said like, why would I listen to you guys about anything? And that's when this really tied into the Yuri Bezmenov stuff about the 4 stages of ideological subversion of playing this long game of getting the country to ruin itself from the inside out. Mm-hmm. I thought this totally tied into the WHO. I mean, we see that all the time because, we even see it. It's like infected our political class, right? Because we can't we can't go and plead to our political elites and say, hey, we lost, I think in 2025 alone, we shut down 49,000 factories.
Wow.
Yes. And we can't go to them and lobby them like, hey, we need to figure out a way to bring manufacturing back to the U.S. We can't do that because they're busy having a multi-day hearing about whether or not men can get pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, there's no recourse. Like, what do you do? There's nothing you can do about, you know what I mean? They're so far beyond the pale at that point.
Well, and those companies left because the condition for doing business in the United States was horrible.
Yes.
So, Donald Trump can come in and say, I'm bringing it back all the jobs. It's like, well, the things that sucked, that made us leave, did you remove those things? Did you fix those? No.
Yeah.
Well, then why would we come back? We're making money elsewhere. Did you get rid of all the regulation? No. Did you improve the wage conditions in the United States? Did you reduce the demand on people to comply with all of your stupid rules that makes their lives so much more expensive and they need to make all that extra money? No, you didn't fix anything. We're gone. We're not coming back until you totally reverse all of the fucked up things that you did with all these laws that you passed. Like you said, no, they can't because they're too busy arguing over gender pronouns.
Yeah, and just to correct myself, I believe I said they closed down 49,000 factories. That's not what I meant to say. I think what I meant to say was between September of 2025 to from February 2025 to September, they lost 49,000 manufacturing jobs. Let's try to be correct here.
From what? How long of a period?
From February 2025 to September 2025.
Oh, still 49,000
jobs. So.
Oh, jobs, not factories.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. When it came out of my mouth, I'm like, that sounds a little high. So we were talking about the Roman Empire. So they talk about one thing that you see at the end of each of these empire. Just going back to the social decay, like the collapse of these empires, they all have like certain things in common according to these stages here. And one of them, this is like a cultural thing, is an obsession with intersectionality, obsession with race, obsession with gender, sexuality, the normalization of like what was previously conceived as like a perversion.
Right.
I believe here in 2026, we call them minor attracted persons.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That one rang true to me. That's why I'm like, dude, this is some Yuri Bezmenov stuff. And like, as I'm mowing the lawn, I'm like, I'm going to put on his interview that he did, listen to his whole story. It was freaking amazing. Like what he went through, like his change at the risk of his life, his family, and all of his friends was completely ideological. Like he lost his entire life.
Yeah.
And we're saying like, if you're not willing to put it all on the line, then don't run for fucking office if you're not going to do the right thing. If you don't want to play the game, if you truly want to change this, like you got to be willing to sacrifice.
Yeah.
And he was that guy. Like he lived in fear and fucking hardship and misery just on his principles. It's like, listen to this guy talk, because he was a diplomat to India and he realized like this Indian kind of culture, like, wow, they have like way more freedom, they can express themselves. They discuss like political ideas and everything. And he was there to subvert India, to turn them over, to the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
And just him being there, you know how he defected?
No.
He, at that time, so this is like late 60s, early 70s. This is before our time. But all the hippies from America, the stragglers of the anti-war movement, were going to India and getting into Indian philosophy,
right?
And
gurus,
smoking hash all day and the whole thing. And he goes, I realized that there was this counterculture movement because the Indian police worked with the Soviet Union. And, if you were standing out of line, like they would report you or whatever. And if anyone found out that I was from the Soviet Union, like the jig would have been up. He disguised himself as a hippie, an American hippie. Oh. He bought a wig and the clothes and just kind of like slid into this counterculture of like drag ass losers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Play guitar and like smoked hash all day and just like learned how to talk like the hippies and everything. And from there he went to Canada, and then from there he went from Canada to the US.
So he just kind of stepped out of his role as a KGB officer
and joined the hippies.
Crazy.
So stage 5 and 6, and the stuff I was reading about, most people seem to agree that we're on the tail end of stage 5, which is the social decay, and going into stage 6. And as I was saying, like these things kind of overlap, right? So we're still in the remnants of stage 5, and we're going into stage 6, which is loss of currency reserve status. This is known as the de-dollarization of our currency. So first thing I thought of this is the BRICS consortium, right?
Yep.
Is people getting off, though. There's two things kind of shoring up this fucking house of cards that we have that make up our economic policy, which is the petrodollar and the threat of our American military. Of like, you will stay on the petrodollar.
Right.
And, you know, if you go off that, Gaddafi, Libya, you're going to end up riding a knife up Main Street, going up your ass. Or we'll just bomb the shit out of your entire country until you submit to our will. And have you guys been paying attention to currently, like, who makes up BRICS?
Yeah, it's Brazil, Russia, is it India, China,
South Africa.
Oh, in South Africa, right.
And now add to that list is Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, and the UAE, with a bunch more people talking about joining.
Mm-hmm.
So this is that acceleration of the loss of our currency reserve status, of enough people just kind of aligning, like, I'm not giving the bully my lunch money anymore.
Right.
You know, why don't we all kick the shit out of the bully? Not through war, because they can't for our military, but if they devalue our currency, like, our only option would be to keep printing money to keep our military campaigns going, which is just going to accelerate this entire problem. Which gets us into stage 7, which is total collapse, which is what we saw with Spain and Assyria.
How many stages are there?
7.
Okay.
This is the last one. And so Syrian Empire going back to 600 BC, Spain the 16th century, British Empire 1900, Soviet Union 1991. And I just think it's kind of important to like look at this as like a bigger picture of like, I don't want to be a downer on 4th of July. I'm not going to be. I'm going to have a fucking great time.
Forgot this is all about our America's birthday.
Yeah, I'm not giving this speech in Tennessee. Like, fuck, thank God the guy from California is here. But I think that a lot of what's going on is a manufactured distraction to keep us from paying attention to these things. Mm-hmm. You know, so we want to go online and squabble about who might win the midterms, you know, whether or not Trump should be able to build his ballroom, you know, and complain about the cost of having the UFC on Trump's birthday, which is like just all like ridiculous shit. But at the same time, like you have to look at the bigger picture. Like this whole thing like could be fucking crumbling, and we need to like find solutions for it. And that's why I think it was such a kick in the nuts for the very coordinated and very well-financed campaign against people like Thomas Massey, who seem to be looking at these bigger picture issues.
Yeah.
He's like, look, we gotta, like, we're spending ourselves into a fucking oblivion. Like, we're perfectly following the schedule of, like, what country we're going to bomb that was written, 25 years ago. I was like, it's at some point we gotta, like, put the brakes on this thing. And it makes me nervous that there's such a like powerful apparatus. There's like, that guy's got to go. And that's what happened.
What if everything is a distraction from the bigger collapse, essentially?
I think at the highest level, this is where I tap into my Jamie O'Brien. I think it is.
I do too.
Like, I think the true power players are just really like just constantly like this whole thing's gonna fucking collapse, and they're figuring out how they can coordinate it so it benefits them and the same people stay in power. They don't give a shit about.
Yeah,
I think they'd be totally happy if just we all fucking died or killed each other in the streets over some fucking protest.
Well, I mean, this has been depopulation's been a ongoing conversation among the powerful.
Think about what their perspective is. Like, okay, what's the worst case scenario? America falls into civil war, and it's just total chaos out there. Like, we'll be all right. We have our bunkers.
Yeah.
We have our guns. We have our armed security. Like, we have plenty of money. Like, I don't really care.
Well, that's interestingly enough, that's their worst. That's their biggest problem is they have everything except they're not sure about their security, their armed security, what'll happen.
Well, I think same thing. The CBDC is like, we're not quite there yet, but we're getting close. And you brought up something interesting with the depopulation, because when I first looked at stuff like eugenics and stuff like that, and I was like, I realized like some of these people are psychopaths, but they're like groups of people. Yeah. I'm like, surely there's got to be someone in there. Like, I just a little uncomfortable with just killing, millions and millions of people. Because, but then I thought about the UBI and UHI. I was like, you know what? It's kind of interesting. Is they could just kill everyone, release a virus, or just whatever. I was like, but if they just printed money out of thin air, gave it to people to like just sit in your fucking house and play video games and take drugs, it's like the end result is the same. So you did kind of like this people, they don't exist. They're just there. They're out of our way. Right. It's kind of the end result.
Right.
Yeah, the banks, every bank or every house is owned by a bank. The bank loaned you the money to buy the house by literally the money didn't exist until they made the loan.
Right.
So if they all said, you know what, just keep your house, you live in the house, but you got to follow these rules and we'll just give you some crumbs. It's no skin off their back to do that. They could very easily just say, you guys can have these special comforts that we'll allow you to have, and you get a little bit of like walking around money.
Well, I've thought about
be calm.
Like in the event of a collapse, it's not like these banking institutions are going to send people out to all these homes that they technically own to repossess them during a collapse. It's just you're going to be in that house, and that's basically a non-factor.
They will do something, though, in the beginning to put the fear of God into people. People that don't want to comply, they will be made to comply. They can't do that to everyone. And the people that live up in the hills and own their own homes, and like they're not going to mess with those people. But around here, like they will make an example of people, I think. But just like in Solzhenitsyn's Gulag Archipelago, he said there was a point where we should have fought back and we could have stopped this from happening. Every time one of those government agents came to the house, we should have followed them home and fucked them up in front of their family, and then they wouldn't have done this. But he was reminiscing about that while he was in the Gulag.
Did you fall in love?